What's up, traders? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we'll be looking at volatility 75 indices strategies, right? So in my previous video I talked about how you can add volatility 75 to your MetaTrader 5. So if you're a beginner and you're still having difficulty in doing that, you can kindly come to the page to watch this particular video where I talked about how you can add it to the MetaTrader 5. So this is a continuation. If you're not trading with the right broker, it will be impossible for you to actually use or trade volatility 75 index, and the link to that broker is available in the description of this video, which is the deriv. So you can actually create your account using the link and then continue with how you can successfully trade it. So the strategies that I'm going to be introducing to you are something that is very simple, right? We are going to look at the following words. So we are going to look at flag, we are going to look at trend line, we are going to look at support and resistance, and then we look at the conference trading strategy, right? So what do we understand by flag, or what do we mean by flag? A flag is just a shape in the market that tells you that there is a possible continuation to the desired direction. So flag can either be a bullish flag or a bearish flag, and this is how it looks like. The bullish flag looks like this. So here is how it looks like. So this is how a bullish flag looks like. Now when you have this flag, one thing you need to understand is the first step to every strategy is market structure. And if you have been following up with my videos, I've told us before now that in order for you to know the trend of the market, you must always scale down to the higher time frame to actually get that information. So if you are looking out for a flag in the market, either bullish or bearish, that means that you probably would have discovered that, okay, a particular trend is having this direction, like the market is either bullish or bearish, before you can say you want to start trading flag. All right, so in this case I'm explaining this context with the assumption that the overall trend of the market is bullish. So in essence, if you want to trade bullish flag, make sure that you are trading it in a market that is bullish. If you want to trade bearish flag, make sure you are trading it in the market that is bearish. So having said that, let's continue. Now this is how a flag looks like. Now the idea about this flag is price is actually bullish, right? But then price decided to have this corrective move in form of this shape. Some people call it wedge, but I call it flag. All right, now for you to trade it, you have to wait for a reaction from this trend line, right? Price needs to react from this trend line, and the idea is there are two entry points to this flag. You enter from this particular line, this point here, right? In fact, the most important point you want to make entry is on the third touch. Remember that we have the first touch here, we have the second touch, and we are having this third touch on this trend line. Now you should check if you can probably spot a kind of support level around there, but even if you do not spot it, so long as the market has given you a good retracement and you are able to see a good price reaction from here, you can make an entry from here. So this is the first point of your entry. You're going to do it like this. You anticipate to make a move from here, and then expect the market to take off from here and continue in the desired direction. Now the second point you can make your entry from, which is more like a conservative point, is this area here, this particular area. Okay, so if peradventure you are not able to, you don't understand the price action that you're seeing here, and market decided to take a move and broke out of this flag, the moment price return back to retest this particular trend line, which could be in alignment with a support or resistance level, you are to make your entry. So if you don't enter from this point, you can make entry from this point. And yes, you should always target the height of that flag, which is this. You should not be greedy, right? You should always target this particular height as your take profit level. So that is pretty much about what a flag looks like. So this is a bullish flag. Now a bearish flag looks like this. Just like I explained in the case of a bullish flag, you can also make an entry from the top touch of the upper trend line. Okay, then if you make an entry from here, you should target this. But if you mix this entry, the next point you can enter from is after price decided to break this trend line, and then when it's coming back for that retest, then you can enter and target this low. Okay, so this is a bearish flag and this is a bullish flag. So like I told you, the first thing you want to look out for when you open your volatility 75 index is to check for the trend of the market, and you can always do that by looking at the higher time frame perspective. So please, if you're watching this video for the first time, make sure you subscribe to this channel and help me share this video to others so that they can also learn from this. And don't forget to join our Telegram channel. The link is also made available for you in this video description. All right, so now that you understand what a bullish flag and a bearish flag is, now we want to look at the chart and see how you can implicate or replicate what you have learned on the live chart. All right, now let me quickly explain trend line. So for a trend line, it's just a line that shows the direction of the market. So if the market is bullish, the first thing you must do, whether you are looking out for trend line or anything, is to always look out for the trend of the market from the higher time frame, which could be 4-hour or daily, right? The moment you have that information, you can start applying these things that you're learning right now. So a bullish market, we always have that series of higher highs and higher low. Then you use your trend line, which is this particular tool, to join 2 or more points together, right? So if a market is trending to the upward direction, if the market is bullish, that means you want to start looking out for something like this. Okay, now if you use your trend line to draw something like this, you have what? Your first touch and your second touch. You should be making your entry from the third touch of the trend line. So the moment the market touches that third point on the trend line, that is when you should be getting ready to make your trade entry. Okay, and then you wait for price to retrace back to make that third touch. So from this point, you are ready to strike a buy. So this is for a bullish scenario if you're looking out for a bullish entry. Now if you're looking out for a bearish entry, that means that the market is actually showing characters like this. Market should be showing something like this. Okay, then just pick your trend line tool and try to join at least 2 points together. Okay, the moment you're able to join 2 points together, you're good. The next thing you're waiting for is for price to actually strike the third point. Okay, like this. So the moment price gets to this particular level, you are ready to make your trade entry. All right, and ride it all the way to the downside. So that is pretty much about trend line. I don't want to dwell much on the schematic so that we can quickly look at the chart. And of course, like we all know, support is a region in the market where prices tend to reverse to the upside, and a resistance is a region in the market where price tend to reverse to the downside. Okay, so if I have this particular point, if price is coming down to this level is acting as a support. That means price will react to the upside. If it come again, it will react to the upside. But if it is broken to the downside, this particular point become our what? Resistance. So what happened? Price will prevent it from going to the upward direction. Price will prevent it from going to the upward direction. If peradventure it breaks again, it turns into what? A support. So support is basically something that, or a region in the market that prevents price from going to the downside. And resistance is a region in the market that prevents price from trending to the upward direction. So having explained these 4 items here, is it 4? Yeah, 4. We have understood what a flag is, what a trend line is, what support and resistance stands for, and a confluence trading. Okay, we've not talked about confluence trading, but confluence trading strategy talks about your ability to add either 2 or more of these things. You can add 2 of these things, you are applying what we call confluence trading. But if you can apply the 3 of them, it is actually perfect. So let's see what we can do while analyzing volatility 75 index. Okay, so here is the chart of volatility 75 index. Like I told you during our schematic illustration, that the first thing you must do is to look out for the trend of the market. That is why you see that I scaled to the 24-hour time frame, which is the daily time frame, to get the overall bias of this market. And as you can see, price is actually bearish, right? So since price is bearish, everything you want to do on the lower time frame is to look out for what? Bearish trade. So if market is bullish, what we want to look out for, that means assuming this market is bullish, that means we should be focusing on looking out for what? Bullish flags, and then support level and all that. Then if market is bearish, we are going to focus on looking out for what? Bearish flag. As simple as that. All right, so let's get down to the 1 hour time frame and see if we can get one of them. Now this is an example of a bearish flag. Remember what I told you, the 2 types of entry that we have. Number 1, you can actually make an entry from the third touch. So we have our first touch here, right? We have our second touch, and we have our third touch. Now remember what I told you, that confluence trading is your ability to join 2 or the 3 of the things that I've talked about today, which is what? Your flag, your trend line, and your support and resistance. Your ability to join the 2 or the 3 of them together is what we call confluence trading. So let's see if we have, this is actually a resistance level, right? This is actually a resistance level because price was acting, just like I previously explained, price was acting as a support around here. That is why price reversed to the upward direction. It came again, reversed, then it broke. And I told you that when it broke, what happened? It turns into what? A resistance. Now it's coming again to react to that same level of resistance again. So you can see that this point is the third touch based on what we've learned from our knowledge of what flag represents. Then it is also in alignment with what? A resistance level. So the entry I'm making here is based on a strategy which is called confluence trading. The word confluence means that you are having more than one reason why you are making a trading decision. So I believe that is well understood. All right. Now, if you make your entry from here, or let's say you missed out, remember I said that if the trend or if the flag is broken to the downside, you should do what? Wait for the retest. And you can see that when it's broke, it actually came back to retest that particular trend line again. So if you don't have your entry here, you can actually have it around here. All right. And if you make your entry here and you are skilled enough, you can also make another second entry from here, and the both of them would have given you a massive sell to the downside. Okay, now here is another region where we can say flag is playing out. Let's look out for other places in the market. Now look at this area again. Look at what happened here. Price created this flag. What happened? You see that it actually reacted to this third point, which is always in alignment with a particular zone. Okay, it's in alignment with a particular support and resistance level, right? And then it sold all the way down. Now if you are not able to make an entry from here, like I said, always wait for price to break the trend line. You see, price broke it and came back to make that retest, so you would have made an entry from here. But like I say, if you are skilled enough, if you're able to catch this move, then you have your second entry, your second re-entry from this point, and you will be in a massive profit. The same thing is happening here, guys. Price reacted to this first touch, second touch, and then the third touch, right? And this third touch is in alignment with this zone. And this zone is acting what? As a resistance. If you check, if I go back in time, you will see that it is actually a zone that price has been respecting. Price acted upon it here, and it it was respected as a support, right? Price, it was respected as a support again, but it eventually broke. And when it broke, what happened? It turns into what? A resistance. And this thing is happening just right here. And price has given a good candle reaction. Look at this perfect rate. So this would have been a massive entry for you if you understand this strategy. So ensure that you actually pay attention to some of this simple strategy that I'm explaining to you. You can watch out on my other videos to also learn other simple ways to actually approach the market, because in this year 2026 money must be made, right? So I believe you guys understood what I've said so far. So you make your entry from here, and then you see anytime price tends to break the trend line, there is always a push. Now the reason why this does not touch this trend line is because there is a support around this zone. There is a support around here. There is a support around here. Do you see? So that retest will definitely happen. That retest will definitely happen. Now this was a support, and then it was broken, and what happened? It turns into a resistance, and that is where price actually came to, and it started selling from there. So guys, that is that about flag, confluence trading, support and resistance, and trend line. Now let me quickly show you an entry that is purely based on trend line. Okay, let me quickly show you that. Now if you look at this, let me remove this. Look at what happened here. So there are so many things that is working on the chart. It's just for you to be able to understand what is happening, right? It's your ability to understand what is happening that matters. Your ability to pay attention and see what price is doing per time. Okay, now look at what happened. Price made a reaction here, have this reaction around this point, and it came to this same point, this same place for the third time. Remember what I told you about trend line, that you should always make your entry from the third touch, and that is what we have right here. Okay, so if you understand trend line, support and resistance, and flag, you can be making tangible trading decisions that will keep you in consistent profits. The only thing is you have to make sure that you are doing it in alignment with the overall trend of the market. Now the reason why we are focusing on this is because the overall trend of volatility 75 index is bearish. Suppose the overall trend is bullish, we have no choice than to look out for what? Bullish flag, and then look out for a bullish trend line or support level where price can give us a good reaction, and then we enter. So imagine what price has done here. So if suppose you made an entry from this point, you probably would have been in profit right now, and I tell you that this trade is definitely coming to this particular point as the TP level. So that is pretty much about that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Ensure that you subscribe if this is your first time of viewing my content, and also if you don't have a synthetic trading account like I told you, you need to create your account with the right broker so that you'll be able to trade this amazing pair volatility 75 index and apply this strategy to any account size of your choice. So this is where we'll be stopping today. We hope to see you in our next video. Peace out guys.